Thank you. Mining is back as front page news. Hello, I'm Paul Raftery, the CEO of Projects RH based in Sydney. As I review Project RH's work in hand and pending list, I was surprised to see the geographic diversity of our mining activity was back above usual, having gone to nearly zero during COVID-19. The place names included Australia, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Ethiopia, South Africa, and more. And the commodities were industrial minerals, gold, and building materials. Over recent years, we have seen an ongoing focus on the need for the planet to recycle and somehow get greener without mining. Some have recognized that not everything that is mined and processed can be recycled. And to get greener, we are going to have more mining and probably of different things. We have seen community recognition of this, that mining itself is necessary for a sustainable world and for transition to occur. Mining by its very nature is an extractive industry which uses resources. These have to be found, and therefore people need to hunt for new deposits of whatever is in demand. And what is in demand has changed, and this has caused great new investment in projects. Over the last decade, we have seen the impact of COVID-19 and learned that just-in-time management is not always the best thing for protecting our businesses and the economy at large. Along with just-in-time management, the concept of global sourcing has also been challenged. COVID-19 also reminded us that the sea lanes can be disrupted, not only by war, but also by a virus. The extended war in Eastern Europe between Russia and the Ukraine has also caused supply issues, not only for food and timber, but also in mining. Strategic minerals are now critical to our military supply requirements also. These factors are causing nations to look increasingly for local or proximate supply of critical minerals needed to produce what is necessary for decarbonisation, as especially materials used in renewable energy and electricity transmission. Funding is also coming from an unusual source. It's coming from the USA due to the Inflation Reduction Act. This is not only limited to projects in the Americas. For more than 20 years of my life, I've worked across financing of energy and mining projects. Generally, our focus was on offtake agreements sourced from much of the rest of the world. Three key reasons people were investing in Australia, and for that matter, Canada, Poland, and Latin America, were: 1, they have quality resources in quantities people wanted. 2, these countries allowed foreign investment and offtake agreements. 3, minerals and other resources are not evenly distributed. As they say in the trade, it is where you find it. In the last 15 years, we have seen considerable change in what is considered a strategic or critical as we decarbonise. So what are the issues and why now? Decarbonisation is the key to demand for minerals, especially for manufacturing batteries in their many different forms. It is also global and political mantra that we must decarbonise. Today, batteries are a strategic asset, and the capability to supply or build them is becoming critical for most nations. To make batteries or EVs work, a nation needs raw materials and the ability to process them. What is clear is nations need a number of these minerals, and they need to be able to process them within their own borders. In the world of Projects RH, we are seeing considerable interest in mining and processing of battery materials, plus copper, gold, and silver across Australia, Canada, South Africa, and Latin America. Most of the activity we are seeing is in juniors, moving into feasibility and production, and often into acquisition. There continues to be significant interest and investment in the usual markets: Toronto, Sydney, London, and Frankfurt. The fact that the investment is going through these markets does not exclude investment is actually coming from across Europe, the United States, and Asia. The investments are being made subject to commonly used international reporting criteria, being Canadian National Instruments and Australian JORC and Valmin Code reports. These are very similar standards, both being understood by international investors. However, what is interesting is some of these international investors have changed to being battery manufacturers, heavy engineering companies, renewable energy producers, and car companies. Transition has meaning somebody has to go first. It is fairly well established in mining that the easiest projects go first, and they normally have the lowest unit costs. So it is logical now that companies are going out and seeking to invest as they have to supply. Within the world of big mining, the majors are again buying resources and reserves. They can see sales in future years at premium prices. This means in practice they are looking to buy companies too. To conclude, mining is back on front page of global newspaper because it's critical to our future and it's critical to our economy. As the world moves towards 2035 and the vision of decarbonisation and renewable energy in a relatively short term, it is important. In this short-term change will most likely occur in technologies we have now, and of course there will be some refinements. The technologies we have today need to be built on large volumes of mining. What we can expect is to see huge changes as entire fleets of national motor cars and vehicles are replaced with electronic cars, buses, and trucks. Each of these will need batteries, and they will be made up of minerals, which generally can't be renewed. They will also be powered by solar power stations or lenses, which also cannot be reused. To engage in this transition, the materials will need to be made and the resources found, and that will need to occur within the next 5 years. If we look at mining, we will need to see permitting, design and investment approvals, construction and commissioning, and then entry into production in very short times. Naturally, therefore, those projects which are more developed will come to market first, and a premium will be paid for control of those projects. We can continue to expect to see mining on the front page of newspapers and our economic journals as producers first seek to find markets and investors. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time.